Well, hello, everybody. It is the American Doofus Show. I'm Barry Welsh. I'm your host. Don't be a doofus. Thank you all for tuning in. A little introductory music there. And no worries about copyright infringement. I actually wrote that song, and that was me playing the bass on there. Lead singer was a friend of mine named Timothy Maddox. He went by Timmy James. He went by Timothy Breeze, and passed away not long ago. But yeah, that's one of the songs that I wrote. So no worry about copyright violation. Righteous One, Shalom to you as well. I'm not sure what Shalom means, but I'm taking it as good, and I wish it back upon you. Peace be upon everybody watching. How far should a woman be able to shoot a ping pong ball out before you marry her? Glitter fart, that's a question beyond my pay grade. I'll just put it that way. Again, hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. And we'll be having an open forum tonight. Going to be talking about a little bit of everything. If anybody has a response as far as a legitimate answer to glitter fart, by all means, hop on there. As I said, it's a little above my pay grade, and it was not a prerequisite. Maybe it should have been, but it wasn't a prerequisite before I got married. I've been married twice now, so neither time was anything to do with ping pong ball shooting out. But I'm a doofus. Some serious stuff we got to talk about. A year ago, there was the COVID-19 was coming into force, if you will. There were those that said, "Oh, it's not going to be anything other than the flu." There were those that said this is going to be a pandemic like we have never seen in our lifetimes. What's up, Arthur Bacon? Thank you for watching. Thank everybody for watching again. And now that things are loosening up a little bit, the closer we get to normal, the more violence we're going to see. And we saw that in Boulder, Colorado yesterday. Still not sure why that happened. We have a pretty good idea why what happened in Atlanta happened at the two Asian spas, but not really sure if this was if this was just a demented person. That's what his family's trying to get out, that this person was paranoid and had been for a while, dating back to even in high school, and that he just snapped. So that, there was it's not an Islamic motivation. It's not a racial motivation, according to his family. But, time will tell and we will see. But it's a reminder of at least two things. And that is, no matter where you're at, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to keep your head on a swivel. Going to a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado. Some of the eyewitnesses saying that, this is one of the safest areas, that they could imagine. One said that he felt like that he lived in a bubble and that nothing like that would ever happen. And many times we get complacent like that. And it's just a reminder, again, of two things. One, always have your head on a swivel. I'm not saying anything new to those that are viewing that are members of the Black community. You have to have your head on a swivel all the time. But everybody, because whenever one of these things happens, it just triggers other people that are on the verge, if you will, that are on the edge, that are have been broken but haven't been totally snapped and are just about to totally snap. We never know who those people are, and we never know where those people are. So we have to keep our heads on a swivel, even when we're going to the grocery store. And I did that this afternoon. I went to the grocery store to get some chocolate milk and some Mountain Dew and some dog treats for Oakley and some cat treats for Louie. And got to see my granddaughter again, by the way, which was awesome. I may even flash a picture of her up here a little bit later on. And when I went into Kroger, I was looking around, and I saw other people, looking around just to make sure I wasn't carrying, even though I'm licensed to carry. And I honestly, I thought about that as I was walking through the grocery store. I thought, what a doofus I would be, licensed to carry and get killed in a grocery store without a gun. So my mind has switched a little. Now, the second thing that these shootings remind us is to always is to take back our soul if we don't have it, if we've given our soul away to darkness or to something or someone or whatever it may be. Get right, get right. Whatever that means to you, get right and stay right, because we just never know. And while we've had a lot of hope that 2021 would indeed be the dawning of the age of Aquarius and of peace and enlightenment and creativity and joy and love and compassion and all things good, we haven't really seen a lot of it yet. I mean, we see examples here and there, but we also see a lot of darkness and we see a lot of hate. And an example of that hate, article in CNN, and the past few episodes that I've been running, I haven't been generating any kind of income from, because of using MSNBC and using Vice and copyright violations. And quite honestly, anytime I use a video that normally in the rankings, you can tell YouTube how worthy you think the video is of having advertising. And if I have content that has a Black person with a gun, even on a shooting range like the last ones I've had, that's still considered problematic for some viewers. It could be bad for some viewers. In other words, white people seeing Black people with guns is an automatic trigger that people don't want to advertise. And I show a lot of that on the American Doofus show. So, it's fine, because the messages I've had on the past couple of episodes, I think really, really needed to get out, regardless of advertising, if you will. So, and there'll probably be ads on them, but somebody else gets the money from them. So, again, that's cool, because the messages, in my opinion, are what's the most important thing. Lorraine Muhammad, don't take that bait. Sissy McLeod, hi, Sissy, how are you? Thank you for everything. Tree of Liberty, no, you need to do your research. All gun content is demonetized. No, not all content is demonetized. If the gun content is at a shooting range, is done responsibly, which I might add, the last two videos I've posted have been. So I didn't think I would get dinged at all on that. I thought I'd get copyright dinged, but yeah. Or at least the options I have, Tree of Liberty. It may be different, on your platform, but I can go on and show you, honestly. I can show you the thing out of my studio where it gives the limited or everything's limited unless it's an EAR episode with the ladies, and those get a full go. And tomorrow night it's an EAR episode with the ladies, and they're going to be talking. I point out a lot of problems. I that's what I do here. I've been able to learn many things from many different people in many occupations, and I try to roll it all together. And I really do treat this like news. Okay, it's news. It's alternative news and information, and I don't put out anything that's fake or phony. And if I do, or if I put something out wrong, I correct it as soon as I find out it's wrong. And everything I put out about NFAC, Grandmaster Jay, everything I put out is always, I don't get a lot of blowback. There are people that don't like it, but nobody says, "Oh, this is," it's absolute bullshit, because it isn't. And because I've got a lot of sources, I was in politics for a long time. I was in a lot of different things, and I've got a lot of connections and a lot of sources. And plus, I've got a lot of people that, like the fact that it's unobstructed media, and it's not hype. It's not attack driven. It's truth driven, and people like that. And I thank everybody for watching. And Barry, does EAR denounce racist organizations? Space Frog, we're just getting off the ground, but yes, that's going to be one of the main purposes is denouncing racist organizations. And I want to point to something that EAR, in my view, something EAR would be. I said the other day, when EAR is big enough, when we've got enough members behind us, that we can start doing things legally. That one of the things we're going to be doing is trying to hit in the pocketbook. We're going to be filing lawsuits. And I talked about the radio announcer in Oklahoma who called the high school girls basketball team effing N word. And that's hate speech, and that needs to be it needs to be more than just the guy takes 2 ball games off from announcing and goes right back to work. And that ties me in what I've been trying to get to from CNN. White headmaster placed on leave after telling a black student to kneel and apologize, quote unquote, the African way. Okay, that's what we do on this show. We talk about stories that aren't out there or don't get enough attention, and we try to bring more attention to things. All right, the big stuff, like the Colorado shooting, like the Atlanta shooting, we talk about because it has to be talked about, but don't devote a lot of time to it, because mainstream media has been devoting a lot of time to it, and as it should be. Now, what happened? This Catholic school had this 11-year-old kneel before he apologized in subservience, And the mother did not take kindly to that. If I can get it pulled up here, I want to read what the school said in response, because the mom eventually went to the local press, and this incident did come from the New York Daily News. Originally, CNN is reporting on New York Daily News reporting, and I'm reporting on CNN's reporting. St. Martin's neither condones nor accepts the actions of our headmaster. The incident does not reflect our long established values or the established protocols regarding student related issues. We've launched an internal review of the incident and restated in the clearest terms what is the established and approved practice for student faculty interaction. Our most important mission at St. Martin's is to provide our children with the spiritual and educational foundation that will allow them to lead exemplary lives. What's missing from the statement from the school? There's no mention of racial equality or denouncing racism, or this even being a racist action. And the person is going to get a slap on the wrist and be right back at it in a more subtle way than or possibly in a more demonstrative way, because he's seen that, let's see what else we can get away with. And it's just it's another situation where when EAR is it may take us 2 years, who knows, but we're doing it the right way. And that's what's important in our eyes, those of us that are pushing this movement forward. And when we get to the point where we can do, then we will do. And things like this are things we will do. EAR will be involved in filing a lawsuit against that particular person and the organization that chose to employ that person. And that's how that's how you root it out, one episode at a time, one incident at a time. And you do it by hitting people in the pocketbooks, the people that keep fostering the idea that and it's not just it's ingrained. I mean, ending racism is not going to be an easy thing, because there's so many examples of just subtle auto racing. Okay, in auto racing, the white flag means you're one lap away from victory. You are almost there. The black flag means you're done. Get off the track. You have been black flagged. All right. That's just one example of choosing white over black. In chess, it's chess etiquette that the white pieces move first, and it's not going to be easy. But humanity created racism, and humanity can end racism with the help of the Holy Spirit, in my opinion, which I cannot say how much impact that a positive spirits have to have in our world, because it's a dark world. It's a dark world. So those were the main things I had to talk about. Are groups that don't allow other races to join their group racist? Space Frog, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. I I would not automatically assume any group that, if it was like let's say, I don't know, um, if it was a Mexican family owned card room that only wanted to have um, Mexicans come and play cards because they felt comfortable that way, and that would be understandable because a Mexican, his wife was killed in Atlanta in the shooting. They went to get massages, and he was automatically a suspect and handcuffed and put in the back of a police car for 4 hours before they told him that his wife had died. So but I wouldn't think they would be racist because they wanted to have their own group. Um, there's a difference, and the difference is intent and hate, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean doesn't mean it's the right answer. It just means it's mine. Official True Soldier, what up? Edward Turner, 51, Pittsburgh. One question: is that a hate crime or not? I'm going to have to look into that, Tree of Liberty. But I'll have an answer the next live I do, if not before, because somebody on here said that, and I know we're not going to talk a lot about the vaccine and all that stuff, but somebody said Marvin Hagler had died from the COVID vaccine, and that was actually started by Thomas Hitman Hearns on Twitter, and it blew up that's what happened, and that's not what happened. His widow made it clear that he passed away unexpectedly, but it wasn't because of getting a COVID vaccine. And as I said, I've been blessed to do many things. I've written some books, and I actually was in the running to write Marvin Hagler's biography. I didn't get the gig, but I had spent some time talking with him on the phone leading up to that. So Edward Turner, and I meant to address the Marvin Hagler thing earlier, but Edward Turner, 51, was that Pittsburgh? I'll look into that. Pittsburgh, okay. The Stephen Stiles thing in Georgia, I think it's Dillsboro, Georgia. Some groups were down there, and there's some footage. The Big Black Secret has an hour-long video that I recommend everyone that has an interest watch. It actually shows the tree that the young man was found hung in, and his vehicle has been released from evidence, and there's just a lot in that video that makes me question how much investigation was actually done, and whether it was just another incident brushed under the carpet. So don't be surprised if you don't hear more about the Stephen Stiles situation down in Georgia as well. We kind of know what racism is, except racists who want to muddle the issue or minimize the racist system. Yeah, I think we have a good idea of what racism is, and again, I point out a lot of the problems. Tomorrow night on EAR is Ladies' Night again, and Star and Marie Justice, Star Child and Marie Justice will be back on. And they're going to talk about solutions in our modern society, solutions to prejudice and solutions to racism. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to hearing what the ladies have to say. How about a group that will not allow you to join if you have mixed race parents? Your blood is not pure. I don't know if that makes them racist, or, I'd say that makes them more purist. But as long as the intent is not for the belittlement of other people, or for the oppression of other people, and it's a private group. I mean, you know, I don't think it'd be racist. I think it'd be more purist. That's not something that um, that's not something that is supposed to be American, but it's really very American. There's a lot of white fraternities. There's a lot of white organizations that are just white only, despite the fairy tale image of America that many of us were raised on, and many still hold on to. So I don't think just because it's all one, it's all one people that are have set their parameters. I don't think it's racist. How about a group that is critical of members that date other races? Space Frog, man. That's an episode. That's an episode I really want to get into, and at the same time, it's going to be a hard one to get my hands around. And I want to do, and I've been saying this for a while, I want to do a series of shows on mixed race couples, and what life's like, and children of mixed race couples, and because there are stories, there are things that can be learned. There are things that will be too painful to share, and that's totally understandable. But sometimes we learn the most when we talk about the most uncomfortable things, and it makes me uncomfortable to talk about it, because it's just the pressure from both sides, I have to imagine, is just intense. But yeah, as far as who we are going to deem racist, I think it's kind of like pornography. The Supreme Court said pornography, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. I think that's kind of how EAR will eventually be. The courts had to order the Cherokee to allow the Black Cherokee to be part of the tribe, because right-wing racists had taken leadership in the tribe and expelled them a decade ago. There we go. Racism is not just it's not just a white and black thing. Even though George Floyd in the aftermath, and Breonna Taylor in the aftermath, and Ahmaud Arbery in the aftermath made it seem more of a black and white thing. It's often forgotten how many white people were out there marching, and in Louisville, they're still there. There's still white people marching, and there's still white people protecting him. So carpe diem. Take some gymnastics to maintain that double standard. Is that my double standard, Tree of Liberty? Don't Russian trolls have enough? Russian trolls. Yeah, that's the bot thing. It makes it hard to know who you're communicating with, and that's one reason I like communicating like this. Um, is a group that is critical of members that date other races racist. I don't think that's, I don't think that's racist. I think that's more, they're trying to seek purity. Um, I mean, the NFAC doesn't want any members that aren't members of the Black community, and it doesn't make me think they're racist because of that. It makes me think they're trying to um, do the best they can to make sure that the objective is met of protecting the Black community, and who better to do that than Black people themselves. Now, on a grand scale, if shit hits the fan and everything breaks down, um, it's going to have to be the Black community, brown community, yellow community, those in the white community that um, that don't have hate. That's going to have to be a coalition against the um, white, um, the privileged. Okay, those that let's go from white privilege on up the scale to absolute top of the line hate spewing racist white supremacist. Okay, so from the from the white privileged, and white privilege, it doesn't necessarily equate to wealth. It equates to the attitude. All right, and the white privileged don't realize they're racist. Okay, they have just had privilege for so long that it's a natural thing, and they don't understand it's just a couple of steps to from privilege to supremacy. Okay, so yeah, off topic a little bit. Well, not really, because it's Tuesday open forum. Uh, Doofus, why isn't there any criticism of the recent shooting as being Islamic extremism? Sam, I touched on that briefly. From what I've heard, and again, I've got some people in Colorado. From what I've heard, the shooter, while he was originally from Syria. His family moved here when he was young, and his family says that this has nothing to do. He wasn't particularly spiritual. That they think it was a mental illness, that he had been suffering from paranoia for a long time. Thought people were watching him. Thought people were monitoring his phones, and just snapped. So that's why. Because as soon as I heard the name, that's the first. I'm going to be honest with you. That's the first thing I jumped to was, okay, now it's Islamic extremism, because I've gotten reports that Iran has terrorist cells active on the East Coast and in Washington D.C. So that's more of an international thing, but it's not something. It's not something I just blow off. It's something that I monitor, just like the earthquakes and the volcanoes and the tornadoes and the natural disasters. Um, Again, it's a dark world. There's a lot of stuff happening, and making sure your heart is pure as we can get it ourselves. There has to be a divine spiritual touch for it to be truly, honestly pure, in my opinion. But we can do a lot. We can cut out the bullshit? We can. And for those that say, you talk about the spirit, but you say bullshit. Bullshit's just words, cow poop. Okay, they mean the same thing. They're only offensive to those that have been taught that they're offensive. Now, you won't hear me talk about God. You won't hear me talk about Jesus in any kind of flippant way or in cursing standards, because that's different. Language is powerful. Language is important. Language matters. You know, they say sticks and stones that break my bones, but words that never hurt you. Words can hurt. Words can hurt really bad. Lies can destroy people. So yeah, you know, you never know. You know, I lost Kay less than 6 months ago. I guarantee you the day before that happened, there was no thought in my mind that that would be the last day we would be together. And I never know when my last day is going to be. And the reason I'm doing everything I'm doing is because it's the right thing to do, not because it's making me wealthy. You know, I could be doing a lot of things and well, make a lot of money. I could, but I sleep at night and I can look at myself in the mirror and not worry about what I've said. And to me, that's crucial. Sam the shooter was white and everyone in Boulder is white. Syrian white guy. The picture I saw, he was, you know, he could probably pass as a white guy. The picture that was sent to me yesterday, he had on a bulletproof vest and I don't know it, but I heard the name before I saw the picture, and the name is, you know, what I was prejudiced about. And while it's not correct, and while it was a false assumption as far as we know, you know, he may have been secretly very, you know, extremely ingrained in the Islamic movement and such that you know, this was a terrorist act, but it sure doesn't seem to be that way. Again, I got a lot of people listening and monitoring stuff, and I thank all of them for everything they do. And we'll find out. Time will tell. We hope anyway. What actually happened? Puffin, that was the second thing that popped into my mind was, okay, this is a QAnon Trump follower, because I don't know, they got a kind of a look in their eyes, you know, it's almost like, I don't know, I don't want to get into that at the moment, but T-Rex, let's put it like this, he wasn't black. Absolutely. Had he been black, the report would have been a black man shoots up a grocery store. Again, prejudiced on my part, but it was correct. When I heard a gunman, and I didn't hear a black gunman, I immediately thought it's a white gunman, because otherwise the news would say it's a black gunman. And I'm just saying that because it's, you know, I'm just keeping it 100. That's how, you know, I'm keeping it real. That's just, you know, how the mainstream media works. Suspect the Boulder shooting is more religious motivated than race motivated. You may be right, Space Frog. We'll find out. So anybody got anything? I will tell you about Jesus. I opened the Church of Judas. See my channel. Same as the Georgia killer, the sex thing is diversion. These are KKK Trump terrorists, same as El Paso and Boston later that day. So going back to the mixed race parents thing, NFAC members need to be black enough to join, and that doesn't sound a little racist to you. No, I can see where white people would take it as racist by being an all black organization, just like, men take ladies' night as being sexist because ladies get drinks cheaper than men. And, the average guy, he doesn't, if he's in that situation, doesn't care. But I can see, again, I can see why the NFAC wants to be, wants to be as black as they can be. All right, because their function is the black community, and I admire the fact that they step up for their community. Do I agree with everything? No, but that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm just supposed to report on what happens. I don't voice a lot of opinions about things, especially in the black communities, because in my opinion, what I'm supposed to do is report it and get the fuck out of the way, and let the black communities handle their business. And that's what I really try to do on here. Whether it's talking about the new Black Panther Party, and what they're trying to do, or whether it's NFAC or, and there are a lot of organizations. There are, so many people, especially in this kind of little sphere that we're in, so many people, it's either Grandmaster Jay or the highway, and Grandmaster Jay himself has said, this is not for everybody. NFAC is not for everybody. And there are a lot of organizations out there. I was tipped off by somebody out in Texas. Not everybody in Texas is a redneck Trump loving racist. Okay. Now this guy's a redneck, but he's not a racist, and he didn't like Trump. Now he's a Republican, but he didn't like Trump, and he informed me of something that he had overheard, and that became the start of a source. All right, that what he overheard came true, and so other things he overheard, I mention or I don't. All right, because I don't report everything I get. And some of you that supply things, some of you that send me stuff, I don't report everything I get. And sometimes that's because of it's nobody's business. It's personal about people, or sometimes it's because I don't want to see anybody put into danger by giving out information that is not relevant, like dates and times. And I've always said, every time it's always brought up, how many people were at the NFAC formation in Louisville? How many people were at the NFAC formation in Lafayette? And my answer has always been enough. It doesn't matter the exact number of people. It's always been enough. It was enough in Louisville that Angry Viking and his people, that a lot of people said the NFAC is going to be outmatched, outnumbered, and Angry Viking brought serious people with him. Okay, don't think that those people weren't serious. But I still have to say and commend Angry Viking, because he said he's not a racist. This isn't about racism. This is to make sure that Grandmaster Jay doesn't burn the city of Louisville down. And even though Grandmaster Jay meant that metaphorically when he said that, the he triggered something, and Angry Viking brought, they brought serious people. The Angry Viking movement brought serious people to Louisville, and there were enough from the NFAC that conflict would not have benefited anybody. So, despite the fact that I get reports of, well, here's how many actually showed up. It doesn't, I don't say those numbers because it doesn't really matter. It's not my business. And that's not what, that's not what the show's about. That's not what the platform's about. The platform's about alternative news and information and giving a voice to people that have a story or have an opinion that needs to be heard and doesn't get heard anywhere else. And by the way, if anybody knows, oh my gosh, Hawk Newsom, HAWKNEWSOM. I'd love to have him. I'd love to have him on for an interview. That's the gentleman that's starting the peace officer movement in the Black community under the Black Ops label, and he's also the Black Lives Matter chapter president, I believe, from New York City. 24 people showed up at Angry Vikings Mappa tour. Okay. Let's see. He had no real policies. Why don't you ask for Trump's racist actions that stirred the hornet's nest? Sam Scott Sam Scott's the Russian plant. Hold on now, just a minute. Let me get back up to. Can anyone name one racist policy from Trump? Sam, it's not so much about racist policies. Again, words are powerful, and it started in Charlottesville, Virginia, and not denouncing the hate that was being spewed then, and that just kind of gave a green light over the next few years for the hate to keep building. I don't think he was trying to do racist policies so much. I don't think that's how he thinks. I don't think his thought process is only about how to strengthen Trump, how to make and white racism saw the green light from him, and then the Proud Boys thing during the debates. But as far as actual policies, Trump didn't have a lot of policies. He just tore down a lot of stuff Obama had put in place. Now, being ashamed of the country. There have been times I've been ashamed of America. I say all the time, I love the country. I love the concept, but I fear the government because the government isn't honest. And not only isn't the government honest, it tends to reward dishonesty at times. And that's one of the reasons I think we have to start from scratch. But His power was white supremacist. That's his base, and KGB trolls. If Biden doesn't shut these Nazis down, we will fly coach to Russia. Nobody denounced Biden when he was spewing his anti-black venom and actively targeting us. Yeah, a lot of us did. There were a lot of us that denounced Biden back in '85 when, but again, I'm in the what's known as the liberal wing of the white race, and we're generally peaceful and want clean earth, and so we're not looked at as threats power wise. And I had a video earlier. The video earlier pointed out how America respects power and how that's important. And again, I talked a lot about the NFAC, and everybody's like, "Oh, they go there and they just march and they don't do nothing." Yeah, they do. They get in the white psyche. It's not the formations were never about confrontation. They were prepared if confrontation happened, but they were all about political power, shows of force, shows of what could come. And to me, that was incredibly necessary. My gosh, we're coming up on May when the 1 year anniversary of a police officer kneeling on the neck of George Floyd until he died. And that trial's about to start. A lot of wounds are going to open up. And it's, dialogue is going to be more important than ever, because a lot of hate's going to rise. A lot of bad feelings are going to rise as we head into the warmer weather, and we head into summer, and we head into possibly a return to outdoor activities, a little more normalcy with than what we've been able to experience with this virus. And whether that comes to fruition or not, only time will tell. But lying about the virus to kill maximum Americans is more than a dog whistle. Trump is Antichrist and Nazi. Hitler too. Yeah, I cannot ever forgive Donald Trump for not being honest with the American people, and he admitted that early on in a book by one of the guys that wrote All the President's Men. I don't remember which one it was, Woodward or Bernstein. One, I think it was Bernstein. I think Woodward's dead. I think it was Carl Bernstein that wrote a book that Trump told him, "Yeah, I knew, but I didn't want to tell the American people because I didn't want them to panic." So instead of panicking, he downplayed the whole thing until it was an absolute shit show clusterfuck that we were the world's leader in spreading something that we should have been the world's leader in containing, in my opinion. Okay. Carpe diem. Absolutely love carpe diem. I love y'all. I sincerely do. And been on here for almost an hour now, so I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Tomorrow night again, Star Child and Marie Justice. It's EAR night on the American Doofus Show, and they're going to be talking about solutions for racism and solutions for prejudice in our society today. A dialogue that needs to be had and had more often. And somebody just joined. Blue Silver, thank you. Thank you so very much for becoming a member. Greatly appreciate that. I sincerely do. I thank everybody for the support. Cash App is $American Doofus, all one word. I can always use support. And if you want to email me, americandoofus@gmail.com. I'm going to do these, at least a couple of times a week. Everybody knows that we're live a couple of times a week because I like talking to people, and you're welcome, Puffin. Everybody, thank you. Blessings upon you. Sincere peace, prosperity, love, health, and serenity upon everybody watching this as we head into spring. Let's hope that as more sun is available, more light comes upon us. And I'm going to end this the way I used to end every one of my political speeches. Now, I never said, it's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. But I always ended it with, I'm Barry Welsh, and may God have mercy upon each and every one of you. May he bless you, and may he forgive the United States of America. Thank you. Good night.